Bon dia, everybody. Easy Podcast Studio. Today we are honored to have Jonathan Tromp in the house. How are you, brother?
Hey, Ari, good morning. How you doing? Thank you. It's an honor to be here with you and to have some nice discussion
Yes.
about the maritime world around Aruba.
Yes, today is going to be such a fun conversation, subject close to my heart. You know, I own a yacht on the island. I brought it from Miami, and of course, I saw you when I went to the
Yeah.
captain license. And you know what? I'm very impressed about your knowledge. And you know, I was always thinking that we need to have some sort of educational podcast about everything that is marine, boats, permits, licensing on the island, and who's better to call than Jonathan Trump?
Well, like I always say, all the people that come to the courses, I do not know everything. If not, Google though.
Well, he's very modest because the amount of knowledge that you have with everything, with nautical and everything, it's amazing. But let's dive in. Let's tell us, how did you start? You're a Arubian born, right?
Yes, I've born here and did a bachelor degree in Holland, specifically in the maritime world. Then I came back and worked a couple of years in the refinery on the tugboat, and then I've changed a little bit my job in terms of the maritime. I went more into waste management, but I always kept maritime very close to my heart. And I am doing actually a lot of business. I have my own company right now, and giving small craft license courses is just a hobby. I like to networking, and I like to explain a little bit about the maritime world, the experience I had, the little experience I had. I did not navigate a lot around the world. I did it only for 1 year. And I've worked in the refinery, tugboats. It's a little differently. It's more about maneuverabilities and shore, and did some towing. And I did some search and rescue as well. But during the years, I've built a little bit experience, and I always a pleasure to discussing maritime issues around the island.
Right. You know, let's talk about Aruba. You know, you come to this beautiful island, pristine water.
Yes.
You want to bring a boat or you want to enjoy a boat on the water. There are a lot of rules and regulations that you have to follow. There's a lot of knowledge that you need to have. So let's start. I know it's a part passion for you and it's a part teaching.
Yeah.
You get to see a lot of unexperienced boaters that you're trying to transfer them into a little bit more experience. But let's start with the licensing, the
Yes.
regulations, and the department that are in charge of all of this. So tell us
Yes.
a little bit about that.
Yes, Ari, there might be some contradiction, but I'm going to explain it a little bit in details how it is. If you want to have or if you have a boat and you're just having a boat for pleasure, for instance, just going out, relaxing, or fishing, some small fishermen, but not commercial, then yes, in Aruba, you need to pass a small craft um, license.
Yes.
It's an obligation, no matter if you have the highest certification for any commercial type, but if you really need a pleasure license, then yes, you have to come to the course. It's not about teaching you that it's very basic. It's very basic about nautical. It's very basic what you need to apply to safety, etc., etc.
Right. Entry level.
It's very entry level. You start from navigation, knowing north, south, east, west, how to put a position in a chart, how to describe a GPS, safety procedures, radio, what to communicate if you're in a urgency or in distress call, what to talk about or what to talk on a maritime VHF radio. So mostly it's more giving information to the licensor, the one that wants to get a license, how things are being run around Aruba. The small craft license that we're talking about, we call it Klein Vaarbewijs. It's a Dutch name. Is only recognized in Aruba. So
Okay.
it's not a license that can go to Curacao and tell them, listen, I have the Klein Vaarbewijs or the small craft license.
Showing again my prestige license that I got from
Yeah.
them. Love it.
You look younger.
I look younger. I want to tell you, 6 weeks in Papiamento with Jonathan, was able to sneak in a few words in English and I pass it. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
kudos on you.
Yeah, no. So it's not recognized only in Aruba. So I cannot go, for instance, to Bonaire or Curacao and use this license as a license. The license that you just showed is a license that you can act as a captain on a pleasure vessel, not a commercial vessel.
Sizes?
Sizes between 20 meter till 20 meters. So the law says between 12 to 20 meters, but I mean 12 meters long.
Yeah.
There is a law in Aruba. It's a locally law that from the shore to 50 meters from the shore, you need to, for instance, you need to navigate not faster than 10 kilometers per hour. That's approximately 5.4 knots.
Yep.
So there are certain things that the licensor will know, which you will not get, for instance, in a commercial license.
Right.
So the small details that are important for the license. That's why the course. It's more giving information and places you can go with it. And yes, there were two licenses. There were the small craft, and you had we call it the grootvaar or the big license. But the big license was intended to be commercially. So with that license, you can
Work with tourists.
as a captain for instance, water sports. Right now, for many years, it has been canceled. So the government is focusing right now, and we did it already. We began last year, and this year we did one class with a course that's called Boatmaster. And it's, yes, recognized by the IMO, International Maritime Organization. And that license has a very good valid, but it's for commercial. It's not for instance, pleasure. It's really dedicated for commercial license. And it's being given by the Ruiter, a very popular university in Holland, where Curacao, they have a headquarter there. And we joined with them. And right now we are giving those courses for people that really wants to have a commercial license.
Yep.
But it's not that far yet that the government has stipulated as a law. As a commercial vessel, you need to have this particular boatmaster license. We are not there, but yes, the harbor master, the havenmeester, has recognized this as a policy. So he is going forward with this to the Aruba government and telling people this is the best way to go, which from all commercial vessels need to have a licensed commercial captain.
Okay.
Which from this boatmaster will fall in perfectly into the argument. But then again, the small craft vessel is only for pleasure. It's a course very informative, very basic about navigational, GPS, safety, and radio communications. And it is right now 3 years that we added a practical exam as well.
Right.
So besides your examination, you need to pass a practical examination as well to get your
License.
small. Yes.
Yeah, the captain license.
Yes.
What's the department that is in charge of that?
Directiescheper is the what's in English? It's
The Marine Authority.
yes, they're the maritime authority.
Maritime Authority. And-
Besides, you have the maritime police and the Aruba Coast Guard. Directiescheper is ship. I cannot recall the name in English, but Directiescheper is the authority that handle all the maritime movements around the island,
Right.
which from the harbor master is part of the directory. It's a ship directory.
Okay. And as we said, it's a 6 weeks course still?
Yes, 7 weeks. Yes.
7 weeks.
Yes, and with a practical exam.
Right. Once you finish the theory part of it and you pass it, you go in on the water with the boat.
Yes.
And you
Yeah.
get tested.
You have to do like a man overboard maneuver.
Yep.
You have to put on your life vest. You have to know where all your safety gears are. You need to moor. So you will be mooring and unmooring the boat. And again, it's not a maneuverable license, or the examinator will not look at your maneuverability. He will only be looking at your way, the knowledge you know about your boat.
Yes.
For instance, where are your safety gears? Can you tie a knot? Radio, the maneuver when somebody fall in the water during your voyage, etc., etc. Again, it's very informative. This license is very informative. It's to get a little bit more knowledge about what's happening. And yes, for instance, there are areas that you have to be conscious, especially in front of the hotels.
Yep.
There are areas where you need to be very, very cautious, and there are areas eventually by law you cannot go through. There's a buffer zone, they call it the buffer zone,
Okay.
where most of the water sports use it as for dropping off tourists and picking up tourists. They are allowed to do that, but we as a small craft vessel, as a pleasure vessel, cannot enter those zones. So you need to keep, but yes, we sometimes do it because it's a very nice pass in front of the hotel.
Marked by the buoys.
Marked by the buoys,
Yes.
And there's swimming zones. They are barricaded with buoys as well. We are not allowed to not even enter without power.
Right.
But those are small things that we will give. And eventually, one of the very important part of this course is safety.
Yep.
Safety on board. What you need to have on board for the ship directory, for Directiescheper, which are the ones that will give a license for your boat, a permit for your boat.
After inspections.
After inspection, correct, which you need, and what is recommended to have on board during your voyage. Again, we're pleasure. We're not going from Aruba to Panama. We're
Right.
just going to
Local
relax
water
in front of the
sailing.
Ritz-Carlton,
Yes.
and doing some nice relaxing time. So it is not. Again, there's some differences between a local license like this
Yep.
and a commercial license.
Of course. And shout out to Rudolph, one of the inspectors on my boat. I've seen him for a few years. Great guy. The main offices over there that are in charge, the minister that is in charge,
Yeah.
they have their own office name, right?
Yes, correct. I think it's near Andina Ice.
Yes.
Yes, that's their office, and there's where you have to register your vessel.
Right. So just for us to put a little bit of order in this process.
Yeah.
Let's say we have somebody moving to the island or living here and he wants to bring a boat.
Yeah.
He's buying it abroad, shipping it over here or sailing it.
Yeah.
what would be the steps that he would need to do so he will be legal to sail on the water, safety, and follow all regulations? What would you recommend?
Well,
Once we pay taxes, of course.
yeah. Well, the first thing is what is the purpose of the vessel? If it is going
Privately use.
privately, so
Yes.
pleasure, then yes, you have to have all the documentation from the prior
Purchase.
purchase
Owner.
and where you had the boat. You have to register at Directieschema, the ship directory,
Yep.
which from they will schedule a inspection.
Yep.
And from their inspection, they will give you a number,
A number.
and that's your registration.
Right.
And that's local registration. So that means that this pleasure vessel or fisher vessel is registered to the Aruba government.
Right. I don't know about insurance qualifications or if you need insurance, but then step that and you register your boat before you drop it into the water and you want to sail it. You have to go talk to Jonathan. I mean, you have to go through the classes.
Yes. Besides your registration of the boat,
Yep.
they will require for you or your captain to have a small craft license.
So if I have a craft license, I can take a captain license from America.
Well, you can try to endorse it.
Okay.
You can try, but from my experience, giving already almost 17 years of small craft vessel, they will deny the endorsement.
They would want you to pass their own.
Yes, just to know the local law, because there's a section in the course which from we go over the local laws.
Yes.
So you have international laws and you have some local law. Yes, I can say the local laws will never surpass the international law. We're talking real navigation stuff, but there is certain laws. For instance, I had that experience in the United States. In Aruba, you cannot ride a jeep or a car on the sand on the beaches.
Right.
It's in our local law. In the United States, I see them races.
Yeah.
I see everybody on the beaches.
Daytona Beach and all of it. Yeah,
It's a highway. It's the nice jeep with big wheels and things like that. In Aruba, we cannot allow that, or we are not able to do that. Not even with pets. I cannot go with my horse or my dog and walk on the beach with my pets.
Wow.
And those are the things that we give because they're locally. And that's why the ship directory, Directieschema, said that no matter what type of license you have, we recommend you and we will not endorse your license. You need to pass this small craft vessel.
Any difference if you bring a speedboat or a sailboat or catamaran to privately use? Is there any difference in the licensing?
No, it's similar small craft license.
Based on your experience, what's more hard to maneuver as far as for vessels? Do you know?
Well, sailing vessels is always hard to maneuver.
Rigging and all that,
It's very depending on the wind, and that's why a sail vessel have most of the time a right of way on a motor vessel.
Okay.
So you have to give them right away, no matter if you're on his starboard, no matter that. A sail vessel have always the right of way because he's very depending on the wind.
The wind, yeah. Harder to maneuver if you don't have the engine.
Exactly. And a very good point why bringing forward not only for sail vessel, but how we the traffic when we are on a voyage and we're going to somewhere with your vessel, the traffic pattern, and it's a big issue because we have at certain areas, for instance, the Eagle Beach, you have the area where they rent you those sea-doos.
Yes.
Okay. Those sea-doos are by law appointed area by the Aruba government where you can practice the sea-doo. The big question always I get is, but the tourist doesn't have a license.
Right.
Okay. So there is a exemption. That's why there is that zone for that particular business.
Yeah.
Because it's really for business. So eventually, it has to be barricaded with buoys, and this is an indicated area for sea-doos for the tourists, especially for the tourists. So you cannot enter that area. You
Right.
have to pass that area when you're navigating. But the buoys, lately, I didn't see any buoys. I don't know if they're broken or they took them off, but the zone is still there. So whenever you pass through that zone, it's to be, as a captain, you need to be very cautious
Right.
and very attent. You have to have four eyes, two in front, two in the back. So you don't, the main purpose of a voyage is to avoid any collision, avoid any dangerous situations for your vessel and for the others.
Right.
And passing to that area, I call it the Vietnam area because you have all those jet skis and all that. So you need to be very cautious. And when I go through that area, or I try to keep out of that area, but still, because there are no barricaded area at this moment, you need to be very attent. You
Yes.
don't want to go over a sea-doo and,
Yeah, cause an accident or anything.
exactly. So there are certain areas, and again, there is the buffer zone in front of, if not mistaken, is the new hotel that they made. Not Ritz Carlton. It's
In that area of Marriott or the area
in
of
front. Yes,
Rio, more
more in the Rio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, past the registration, you went to do the boat license, the
Yeah.
captain.
Yeah.
You have a vessel on the island.
Yeah.
Where can you dock it? Where can you drop it to the water?
Well, there's certain if you have a trailer and you want to keep it at your home, it's perfectly fine.
Yep.
There are certain areas where you can drop your boat off. If you want to keep your boat in the water, there are certain marinas you
Okay.
can request, but then again, you have to pay a monthly fee.
Yep.
And most of the time, those fees are based on the length
Size. Yeah.
of your boat, but they will provide you with water, electricity, and even Wi-Fi. You have Varadero. That's one of the biggest one where you even can buy fuel. You have the Nautical, you have Bukuti.
Yeah.
So you have those three real popular marina,
Right.
where you can request a location to park your boat, and eventually they will give you the price for that
That docking fee.
area.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alrighty. So now let's talk about the fine experience of a boat. You know, I have a lot of experience. I'm not a boater, as they say, but I bought a yacht and I brought her over here, almost a 30-foot Riga Commodore, a nice cruiser yacht, but you drop it to the water.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of people who are saying the best moments when you own a boat is when you buy it and when you sell it. But I want to tell you, there is a fun experience in the middle. You know, you take your family, you go on a boat, you go on the water. But what I never knew, and this is what I realized, is that when you're on the boat as a captain, you have a lot of stress. You have a lot of liability. You know, this one may stop working the engine. Somebody's going to fall overboard. You know, you're always running around, not taking any ropes in the water. How do I moor? You know, so talk about some experiences.
You brought a very important point forward. When you're a captain, you're not only responsible for the boat, but you're responsible for every souls on board as well. So you have a very responsible task. So you have to think. You have to take things very seriously. First of all, that I would do when I am on a trip is request from the person, even if it is your family or friends, do they have any sickness? Are they epileptic, sugar, high on sugar, any heart condition? So as a captain, you know already to be prepared. Second of all, if they can swim. You know, very important to ask anybody that goes with you if they can swim. If they cannot swim, I would recommend you to give them a life vest
Yeah.
and put it on. In Aruba, we don't have the law, for instance, a certain part in the United States that it's obligated when you're on a boat to have your life vest on. No, our law is whenever we see a situation, a danger situation that can arise, to put your life vest on.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do a trip, I would recommend you as a captain to request anybody that cannot swim, please
Put a vest on.
put your life vest on.
Yeah.
Then eventually make sure prior for the trip, make sure that your engines are in good condition.
Yeah.
Make sure you have sufficient fuel instead of alcohol, beer and rum. Make sure, those are the jokes that we always do, but it's reality.
Yes.
You know,
How can you not have rum in the Caribbean? Yeah.
yeah. So make sure you have sufficient fuel,
Water. Yeah.
water. It's by law. It's 1 liter per day per person.
Wow.
That's the
Requirement.
rule of thumb.
Yeah.
That the Coast Guard. So eventually, you need to know how many days you're going to be lost. So you have the sufficient water.
Hopefully not.
Yeah. But those are things, there's those guidance. Those are guidance to have. Yeah, you need to have potable water on board. And very, very important that many of our local doesn't do. And it is important for a search and rescue. When I'm going to do a trip, whatever the trip I am, I will make a note. 1, my vessel's name and registration, how many person on board with the names, where I'm going to, and when I am going to come back.
Wow.
Why this documentation would need to be to a family member or a friend that are not going with you. So whenever the hour or the time you said that you will be more at the dock or you're back home and they did not see you coming or you're not home yet,
No communication.
then yes, it is very important.
So a safety mechanism. Hopefully you won't drift away, but it happens.
It happens. So I recommend everybody that goes, whenever they goes on a trip, make sure that a person that doesn't go with you know where you're going, when you're coming back, how many people you have on board. So if something happened, they can alert the authorities right away, and authorities will have already
Yep. Some information.
an indication where to go to look for you. I don't want to bring it forward and make it a discussion, but we had a year ago, if not mistaken, three people that went on a yacht. And
Fishermen?
well, yes, they were fishermen. And there is a big discussion going about the communication. Why didn't
No CB, or they didn't call for...
they didn't call, or they called, but Coast Guard didn't act, and things like that. One of the biggest things, Coast Guard is there for our safety.
Yes.
I can put my life online that Coast Guard will do anything in their power to make sure to get you safe and safely back
Shout
home.
out to the Coast Guard.
Yes, I have no doubt in that. But there is certain
Factors or...
facts that as a captain as well, you need to indicate, and you need to be aware of how to call and how to proceed to getting the Coast Guard involved.
Yep.
Again, we don't know what happened with these guys, and
they haven't been they haven't been found?
no.
Wow.
No, and not even pieces are
Wow.
from the vessel. So
How far did they go?
From my understanding, they were approximately 6 to 7 nautical miles up north, and they were fishing for deep dropping for swordfish.
Wow.
They were fishing. But going back, they call Coast Guard, but they just call Coast Guard. From what I hear, they just call Coast Guard. Okay, I mean,
You have to respect the sea, man.
okay, Coast Guard. Where
next?
are you?
Yes.
What's your position?
Yes.
That's first thing. Why are you calling me? Do you have a problem? Yes. Eventually, you're going to call Coast Guard. I'm not going to call Coast Guard just
Maybe
for
their
a
CB went underwater and just stopped working.
something happened that we don't know. But if they call Coast Guard and give first their position and tell the Coast Guard, even if it is a mayday or a pang pang, I am in an urgency or I am in a distress, then yes, Coast Guard would act immediately. But you call Coast Guard and you don't give any
Information.
indication.
Yeah, it's very hard to look on the big ocean, man. I know sometimes they
Exactly.
deploy the chopper and they look for people and then they send a boat on. But yeah, you have to respect the sea.
Yeah.
There is a big difference between driving a car on land and it gets stuck, or there's a malfunction, or there's a problem, and you can just get out and park on the side. Then getting in that problem in sea, and you just drift away. The wind here is so strong.
Oof.
Current drifts you away from the island so fast.
Very fast. Minutes.
I don't want to tell you how many pirates probably there are in the open water, drifting
thing.
towards Venezuela or Colombia.
Yeah.
And it happens, so safety.
So when you have a radio on board, we have a maritime VHF radio. It's very important to know procedures.
Yeah.
There are protocols on that, and that's where small craft vessel is important. We go through all those protocols, when to use particular protocols, and important about. And this is when we go back to the basic position.
Position.
A lot of people say, yeah, position. Yeah, but when you look at your position in your GPS, you need to know what you're looking for. You need to look if it is in degrees, minutes, or second, or if it's in decimals, north, south, east, west. So whenever you have your position, you will translate that position to the Coast Guard or to the Aruba Ports Authority in a good way, because every digit can be miles away. If you give a wrong position, 10 nautical miles is you cannot see me anymore.
Oof.
You're talking about 5 to 6 nautical miles. You're becoming invincible.
Invisible, yeah.
Only a radar or a helicopter can look at you. But eye vision is 1 mile. Depending the size.
Yeah.
So your position, knowing your position on the GPS is very, very important. I put very emphasis when we go through the navigational part to make sure when you look at your GPS, you know what you're looking at.
Right.
You know your position, what is your position, and when something happens, to give the correct position that your GPS is giving to you. So those are the small things, very, very important, because like you said, in minutes, the wind can blow you away.
Exactly.
The current can push you away. And I don't want to get lost. Life is too sweet to waste it on a couple of days on the sea without any alcohol, women.
I want to be honest with you. Sometimes when you get lost, or if something happens like that, you're getting so stressed out. It's really hard to kind of read the map. But you need to know your gadgets. You need to know your position at least. But let's talk about the fun stuff part of it, which is the go no go zones in Aruba. You drop the boat. Let's say. Next to Rio, in the big drop over there, you want to take a left towards San Nicolas area, or you want to take the right or north or west towards Nord. Where is the go, no-go zones, reef?
Especially on the island, there is not really a no-go zone.
Okay.
But yes, you need to take in consideration certain areas that are protected, and for instance, you cannot anchor. The local law says 50 meters from the coastline, you're not allowed to anchor. So eventually, I cannot anchor for instance, in Mangalhalto.
Yes.
Because Mangalhalto is a very popular boating area where from you can anchor, and it's very nice to snorkel. It's sometimes very on deep, you can very, very much a relaxing part. Another thing that very important to be aware as well, 50 meters, you cannot go up to 10 kilometers. So when you go fast, you're making wave.
Yes.
And it can disturb swimmers, or can disturb any other vessel that are on a pier and things like that. But a very nice location to go where from not much people know about it is the refinery area. Back into Rogers Beach, there are a couple of, if not mistaken, 3 islands in front of the Rogers Beach, around that area. In between those islands, there is a very nice area to snorkel.
Right.
Even if you go a little bit further, you can see a lot of turtles.
Okay.
Yes, they're sharks. Everywhere you swim,
Open water. They're not in the lagoons.
But the sharks are not there to eat you out or to bite you. They're there for just.
Yeah, tell that to the sharks.
But
it's a great area to sail
area.
over.
It's not the best area to anchor in terms of it's very rough sea at times because it's. But it's a very, very nice. But you need to make sure you don't go up to the island because they're protected. We have a specific booby. I think it's a small bird, and it's only found here on the island. So it's a protected island. But in between, there's water, and it's very, very.
Beautiful.
I like to. When I had my boat, I sold my boat lately. We go a lot of there with the family and snorkel and have a great time there. So that's a very nice. Then going up, you still have Zeewijk. That's between where you have the reef birds, where the big vessels, the oil tankers, park to receive oil. In that, there's Zeewijk area.
The intercoastal kind of part.
Yeah. It's a very deep, and it's not the nicest. But they had organized one time a boat fest. Yep. So they parked the boat there, and very nice. And it's a nice area to do a little skiing and water sport. I mean, skiing and hydro and things like that. But it's not much used, that Zeewijk area. We call it Zeewijk. Then you have where the Coast Guard is located.
Yes.
That area up to... Zeerovers, where you can go and eat. Those are just inner thing. There's a nice hotel lately that they built with islands. Yep. Going there, all you can go with your boat, but again, go very easy.
So let me ask you something. What happens about the moorings? Sometimes I see buoys in the water. Yeah. People put moorings by themselves. Can you anchor on somebody else's mooring? Can you go and park in somebody else's dock? What's the rule of thumb here?
That's a good question. There is no buoy.
Because they might cut your rope.
Yeah. But there is no buoy legally owned by anybody.
Even if you drop it, you worked it,
No, it's not yours.
Wow.
So whenever you see a rope and you're tie yourself on the rope, and the owner comes and tell you, "Hey, this is mine."
You don't have to go.
No,
but you don't want to mess with the Rubians.
No, I mean,
buoys.
Look, as a local, and you see a big catamaran coming, and you're tying on, and yes, they would need the rope because they want to tie up and make sure that the tourists get a good time. So yes, then I would move. Right. But if I'm tie up there and somebody else just come and say, "Hey, this is mine," no, it's not. There is no
whatever is in
ownership.
The sea, whatever is in the sea, it's public domain.
Yes, eventually it's not allowed to be there.
Okay.
At first, it's not allowed, because if it was allowed, then it was government owned, and when it's government owned, then the government decides if you can or cannot, and who and when. So all buoys that are governed by the Aruba government, you cannot tie on. So yes, it is when you ever reach the first come, first go.
First come, first serve. So I know we talked a little bit about fishing. So when you own your boat, you can just go fishing? Do you need a license to fish? Do you know anything about that?
No, you don't need a license to fish around that area. Yes, there are some regulations. Eventually, you cannot use, how you call those?
Nets. The net?
The nets.
You can do commercial fishing.
No, just in this area, you cannot. You can only have three hooks on one line when you're
Okay.
fishing. Three or four, I cannot remember exactly, but you cannot have 10 hooks on one line.
Yeah.
It's not permissible. Then, yes, there is a law that certain fishes are protected. For instance, the pirate fish, the gutu,
Yeah.
they are protected.
Yeah.
Um, there are certain grouper that are protected. So there are certain protected species that you are not allowed to fish.
Right. Let me ask you some personal, from personal experience or personal preference. What is your favorite vessel? If you would just buy another one, or
Can I mention the brand?
of course.
If I have, and again, I always wanted to have a yacht because it's a family thing. Imagine a weekend, you go up to Arashi, you anchored, and you stay a weekend on the sea, swimming and things like that. Yes, I would prefer then.
A yacht with a galley inside, with a
Exactly,
kitchen.
and it doesn't matter much the brand. I know Beltram. There's a good Hatteras. You got the Bayless, Vikings.
Yes, Baylor is good.
Bayless is about their.
Yeah, expensive. Is there a preference for you for inboards or outboards?
Yes, if I want to have just a boat that I use just daily or
Weekend,
weekly,
yeah.
yeah, I prefer a Boston Whaler center console,
Wow.
26 feet and outboard.
Outboards, yeah.
Yes.
Inboards are such a hassle, man.
Yes,
And
I
especially I
don't
heard,
like them.
yeah, and I heard that commercially you cannot work with gasoline engines when you
Correct.
work with tourists, especially on inboards. It can explode.
Yes,
So diesel is the preference.
the prefer, yeah, and I don't like jet propulsion.
Yeah, the
That's
jet propulsion.
headache.
It's a problem because you have to bring the right boat to the Arubian water. It's a seawater. You can't bring a freshwater boat.
Yeah.
And I know they're Arubian. I heard they're trying to go for more, not battery operated, but solar or something that.
Maybe.
Something that.
But let's go back.
Yes.
Don't want to bring it as a topic, but when you have a jet propulsion and you're doing water sport, it's much safer. Imagine you're having propeller,
Yeah.
and you have whatever
Swimmer.
Yes, it can cut when you fall or
And we had that accident before.
exactly. So if you don't have they call it the cord nozzle. It's a protective gear
Cover.
around
Yeah.
the prop. A jet propulsion is much safer for water sporting, especially when you have people behind with tubes and things like that.
Yeah.
A jet propulsion, but it gets difficult to maneuver. That's why they use the props. So I've understand that the directory and authorities were researching that. What are they going to do? Are they going to implement to all those water sport to have those cord nozzle and
Covers. Yeah.
gears?
To protect from incidents.
Exactly, but yes, a jet propulsion will be perfect for water sport area or people that does water sport with tourists.
Such a crazy story that I had. I was on the yacht. I was all alone, just sailing, and I snagged a rope. So my motor just stopped. And you're on the boat by yourself. You can't anchor it because it's too deep,
Yeah.
and then you have to jump to the water and just try to release that rope. And the boat is drifting, can run into other people. There's a lot of stress in boating. I'm always say buy the right boat for you, not too big, not too
Exactly.
heavy. Don't get a 7 ton. You need to have a special car. Cannot do it by yourself.
Yeah.
So get something that is easier to maneuver.
Yeah, and during the years that I had a boat, I had several boats. I love to go fishing, and fishing was one of my a way of escaping from work.
Yeah.
When I was on the boat fishing, I never thought about work. As soon I'm moored at the dock, shit, work comes
Yes.
back into your mind, and that's something that I always like. So that's why a Boston Whaler, a 26-foot Boston Whaler
Yep.
with a real angler boat would be something I definitely will go for it.
Alrighty. Yeah, go ahead.
But yes, whenever you want, the purpose of the boat is important
Yes.
for you. If you just wanted to have a weekend, go out, go to Ritz Carlton, just traveling, yeah, just a small boat, a 20-foot.
Experienced, learned. I am probably getting a smaller boat from now. Now you sent me a flyer. Can you talk a little bit about that next degree of license, or what do you?
Yes. So the boatmaster from De Ruiter, the school De Ruiter, is specifically for commercial. So pleasure is what we are just talking about, the small craft vessel license. But right now, if you really want to go to have a license, and then again, that license is recognized by the IMO, so it's internationally recognized in terms, if I want to go with that license to, for instance, Panama, I can just easily endorse it. Maybe I would need to do a couple of other before, because Panama has their own regulations, a flag state. I can just use the license in Curacao, Bonaire, Saba station, all the kingdom, so the Netherlands kingdom.
Yeah.
So any captain or any person that works for a water sport right now and doesn't have a commercial license, I recommend them to contact the writer, and
Upgrade.
they can schedule you for the course. Yes, it's a little bit more expensive than the small craft vessel, but you're getting a real license. You're
Yeah.
getting a license where you can act as a captain on a commercial vessel.
Right. Well, having a boat is an expensive experience anyway, and you have to invest a little bit just to make sure that you're aligned with the regulations. Let's, before we wrap up, let's do a crazy story about Aruba. I know we have a lot of shipwrecks in the water.
Yeah.
Maybe if we go back in the time, the area of Aruba probably hosted a few pirates.
Yeah.
They use the island as a safe haven or just to hide some treasures. Maybe we can go and look
Yeah.
for it. But do you have any crazy stories of the water?
Not well. I can talk about a couple of very nice stories that are real stories. My father-in-law has I call it those where the pirates use those cannon.
Okay.
He picked up a couple of cannons, and I think they have it at the hotels. So he really went.
Cannon?
Yeah.
From the water?
From the old times, yes.
Shit.
Yeah, he picked up 3 or 2 from those.
Damn, they were on boats. They were on big ships back in the days.
Yes. And that was around the Conchi area. And you can see shipwrecks from the older times, from wood, when those vessels were from wood,
Yeah.
the sailing vessel from wood.
Yeah.
You can still find shipwrecks from older vessels. I mean,
Any big treasure found?
no, but this is another story, and I
Some gold in the bottom of the
Okay.
ocean.
California. Let's talk about that area.
Yeah.
There
The
is
lighthouse.
Yes, there is a vessel very close to the lighthouse that's called California. The stern is on the bottom, but imagine you getting the name of that vessel. It's a very old vessel. At first, I thought it was a very, very important vessel because during the Titanic, the first vessel that got the Mayday call from the Titanic, his name was SS California. So when I hear that story, I said, "Shit, that is going to be a very important vessel."
Yeah.
So I went and researched it, and no, it's not the vessel.
Not that one.
Because if it was, imagine you have the stern with the name, that would have cost millions.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have cost. But the California is still there. You can snorkel it. It's not deep. It's maybe 20 foot deep. The engine is still there. It was one engine. You can still see the shaft going. I think the props are still there.
Wow.
So it's a very
Big vessel, probably.
yes, it was a big vessel, but we had planned once during Conde because it's very close to the shore to try to
Dive.
get to try and retract those props and maybe
Whatever is in the sea, you can just pick up. Is it public domain or is it going to get confiscated?
well if it's not registered on the chart as a government owned
yeah.
property, then
Or a
yes.
heritage spot or something.
Yes. For instance, there are stories that there is a vessel sink at the grip field at the other side of the island
Okay.
that has a lot of gold.
Ooh, okay.
So,
yeah, but that is a dangerous part of the island, man. That's
Oh.
big waves, big sea over there.
But whoever find that is theirs.
Can claim it.
Yes.
Is it bigger than Antilla? I mean, California, or
I think no, it's not bigger than Attila. But it's
Antilla is the famous one here.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I mean,
everybody's going and diving
yes.
over there and have the spots.
But we have a couple of vessels that are sink that are very deep. I think there is one that near in they have the prop there. Some locals guys, I think Andre Loonstra and Sweetnam, they dove. I mean, I think it was 100 and something
Wow.
meters
Wow.
deep
Wow.
that they dove it and brought the props.
How can you
I
even bring
think it was a petroleum based vessel, but it was sunk during the World War II, where the German submarines came and fired on Aruba on the refineries, the special. Because we had the biggest refinery back
Yeah.
then. We provided 20% of the fuel for the U.S. military
hectic
for the war. So our refinery, the Aruba refinery back then, the Lago, the Eso Lago Petrolera,
Yeah.
was very important for the war. So the Germans said, if I can, cut that fuel line,
That's it.
then
I'm hurting them.
exactly. So we have, and there's a lot of stories about that. You can find it on the internet, and there's books written about that refinery and they sunk a vessel, and they brought the prop.
I always wanted to get to know more stories about the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh.
And
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. Has to be exciting. Has to be exciting to live in those days and sail the Caribbean water, especially reaching an island like Aruba. Everything is so pristine. Junior Tromp, local Arubian, also an entrepreneur, businessman. You're doing a lot of things. You're juggling a lot of balls in the air. Family man, right?
Yes.
So he also has. Tell us a little bit. You have print arm.
Well, I have a couple of businesses.
What do you do when you're not teaching people how to sail?
Well, first thing, I'm a family man.
Yeah.
All my two children, like my son, likes to spearfishing, likes to fish.
Wow.
In competition for sailfish and things like that. So, and he's 18. So, but from 12 years young, he was always on yachts and always learning about fishing. My other daughter is a little bit more into soccer, but he's very into skiing.
Wow.
They like to ski, they like to hydro. So we're always, every Sunday, we go as a family, and most of the time they're skiing. And now my son does barefoot. So very,
No way.
yeah, it's complicated.
It is.
I mean,
It is.
I cannot do it. So
Do you pull him, or you get?
yeah, I sometimes pull him, or my father-in-law pull him, but they're on barefoot. I mean, that's
Crazy.
That's crazy. For a short time, but hey, you're doing it. So
I just heard that there was dolphins in the island.
Yeah.
Imagine, like, you put your feet on a dolphin. How did dolphin get here anyway? That's crazy.
they said that one of them was sick, and whenever one of the dolphin is sick,
The whole pack is
the whole pack
follows him. Or
follows him till
safe haven. Or,
yes.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a common thing the dolphin does. They're very smart animals, huh?
Yeah.
The dolphins.
But there's not a lot of sharks on the flat part here with the hotels. There's not a lot of sharks. I didn't see any whales or something like that.
No. There's times when whales pass, and you can sometimes. I have seen whales.
Wow.
I've seen sharks too.
Yeah, on the barge back in the days.
Yeah, but not that they're. We don't. I mean, shark. It's look. when I saw Jaws, yes, I even went in the water. I mean, it's something mentally. Yeah?
Yes.
But sharks are not there to eat you or to bite you.
Yes.
I mean, if they're hungry, yeah, everybody that's hungry wants to bite, but Aruba is very safe in that terms.
So family, everybody's on the water with passion to water ski and soccer. And what do
Yeah.
you do usually on your spare time
Well,
or the time that you still work?
well, besides maritime, I'm into drag racing as well.
Okay.
I drive a very fast car.
Wow.
We just came from Curacao. That's one of my hobby. Very, very. I'm very intense into that hobby. I don't talk a lot about it. It's a very passionate sport for me. Drag racing, and I have some businesses. I do printing of t-shirt, tees and tats. And I have another company called CGC, where we're very into consulting and doing waste management projects.
Amazing.
For instance, the Bubali wastewater treatment plant.
Yep.
We had blended a certain bacteria where we are injecting it into the system, which it's dropped down the odor, but it eventually fixed the water quality as well.
Amazing. Very important.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to go green these days.
Yeah. Right now, I'm not. They have their own system right now, but a couple of years ago we did that, and a very successful
Process.
project that we did. And eventually, we are proposing to Aruba to come with incinerator, but plasma incinerator to process all the waste, because we're an island. We cannot keep excavating and burying waste.
That's what we do?
That's what we do, actually. We are...
Because nobody's dumping anything in the water here. I see the water is very clean.
No, correct. We're not dumping, but we are excavating, and we are putting the waste into the ground. So to avoid that, you need to dispose of it in a very environmental way. The plasma that we are proposing are small units, smaller than the usual incinerators system, but we can put it in modular, which from we can burn, produce a syngas, and produce electricity with it.
Amazing. Well, we should support Arubian innovation or Arubian entrepreneurship. Drag racing is a topic for another day.
Oh, yeah. I have a lot of stories. I was in 2004 world champion.
Really?
Yeah. In
But what car? What did you drive? Or what do you?
A dragster.
Wow.
7-second car. And,
that's definitely a conversation.
Oh, yeah. And I won a Ironman. I won a whole car and $30,000 of prizes.
Wow.
In the United States, and the Summit Super Series. They call it the Summit Super Series, and I won that. And we used to go race a lot in Puerto Rico. I won a couple of races there, but Puerto Rico is very intense into drag racing. So, it's
not seeing Jonathan like that. He's a fast guy, you know.
No, I like to do stuff. I need to be busy. I'm very energetic, so to get my energy out, those are the things. And I like to do a lot of community work in terms. I'm in helping cultural institute, for instance, organizing festivals, food
volunteering and supporting the community.
Yes,
amazing.
Yes. I like to do that.
Amazing. Jonathan, I want to say thank you for coming. There is probably a lot more information that we can dive into. Next time we can talk about boat racing or anything that is interesting for the island. But just as the first segment on marine life in Aruba, because this is such a big part of the island. It's surrounded by water. Everybody is, not everybody with a boat, but everybody with the inspiration to have a boat.
Yeah.
And Jonathan is our go-to guy with that. So we want to say thank you for coming.
No, Ari, it's an honor. It's great. I like to have those conversations, and especially Elgate. But for everybody who's interested, please, for the courses, visit Enseñasa pa Empleo, EPE website. You can get more information. You can get the cost, when the courses are starting, etc., etc. And if you want to go into the commercial part of licensing, I recommend you to go to the De Ruiter website, where you will get all the information needed for you if you really want to go into that direction.
Amazing. I don't know if you have social and you want to say what's your social, but if anybody wants some guidance and advice from a professional, This is the guy. So thank you very much.
Ari, thank
and
you
we'll
for the
see you
time.
soon, man.
All right.
Thank you.